Sorry, I was doing me Tomo. Fucking exit.
Are you ready?
Hey guys, it's CrazySeanDX and welcome to this video. Throughout history, we have had video games come and go. Franchises come and go as well. Mostly video games, other stuff being, well, I guess, stuff and all that. We've seen licensed stuff, we've seen video game original stuff. But there's one thing that has always stayed tried and true. Many video game franchises have fallen far from grace. We're going to look at 10 of them. So, this is the top 10 gaming franchises that fell flat. And by the way, this is my opinion, okay? My opinion, at least in my opinion as to what it is. I'm not going in any, the whole thing. Let's do this. Number 10. Now, who doesn't fucking love some motherfucking Crash Bandicoot? Well, Activision seems to not. Back in 1996, which was a bit after the release of the PlayStation, one anthropomorphic creature rose to popularity in the 3D platform genre. His name was Crash Bandicoot. Developed by Naughty Dog, there seemed to be nothing he could not do. He even had games on GBA, which were pretty good. I played myself. He had a few okay games on PS2. Then Activision bought him, turned him into a douche nozzle, and thought controlling giant monsters was the way to go for Crash Bandicoot. Ever since then, Crash has not had a proper game since, let alone a game period. I even voted for him, as well as Banjo Kazooie in the Smash ballot, but only teenagers killed the poor thing's chances. But there is a reason this is at number 10 only. It's because recently at E3, it was announced that they would remaster the original trilogy for PS4, which could mean they'll do what they can to fix things and go back to the proper roots. Props to them, I presume. Number 9. Speaking of Crash and Activision, Spyro the Dragon. Simply put, Spyro also had a trilogy on PS1, and just as well had gone down a similar path as Crash, having GBA games, bled PS2 games, and a reboot that nobody was entirely fond of. Then he started going a similar path to Rayman with Skylanders. See, Rayman had a game called Raving Rabbids, and its success prompted the company that owned Rayman to focus on Raving Rabbids games. It seemed Rayman would not have a proper game, but then came Rayman Legends and Rayman Origins. That's what I see going on with Spyro. They're focusing on something that Spyro was a part of, and will likely work on proper Spyro games sometime in the future. That's why it's at number 9. So I'm hopeful Spyro will have a proper game, eventually. Number 8. It's safe to say that Resident Evil has fallen far from what it used to be. Back in 1996, a game known as Resident Evil, or Biohazard in Japan, hit the shelves of gaming stores everywhere. The controls were clunky, the voice acting was shit, or at the very least cheesy, but people loved it. So came a few more games in the series with similar stuff, including fixed camera angles, which helped showcase the possibility of not knowing what could be around the corner or even right in front of you. Then Resident Evil 4 happened, and despite being a slight departure from the series, people loved it. And then Resident Evil 5 happened, and judging from a stream of the game I saw, it just... oh... And then RE6 happened, and it got so much worse. The series so many people loved started to take a turn into actiony shooters, which ended up causing the series to lose a sense of purpose. Though, as we've seen with the Resident Evil 7 teaser and demo, it seems Capcom wants to make up for their mistakes with where the series went wrong. And then Umbrella Corps happened. Speaking of Capcom, number 7. Boy, did the Blue Bomber hit rock bottom. Well, sort of. We all know Mega Man, right? Simply put, Mega Man hasn't seen much in terms of new action. He had a long and usually good series of games, and then came 2011. Mega Man Universe, a game I was actually kind of excited for, was set to release on PlayStation Network and Xbox Live Arcade. And the development was the third installment of Mega Man Legends, a series that people loved despite having arguably the worst camera control scheme I've ever felt in my hands. Seriously, how can people look past that? However, Mega Man's creator and the man who had a hand in many of those games, Keiji Inafune, left Capcom, to which Capcom cancelled all upcoming Mega Man games because they can't work on new games of Mega without his father working on them. A petition was started to at least continue development of Legends 3, which by the way was going to be out on 3DS and even had some sort of Proto-Man demo out, but, oh, and you're going to love this. The European Capcom Twitter then announced that the fans didn't want it hard enough despite the petition gaining over 100,000 signatures and essentially telling the fans to go fuck themselves. That's just rude. Keiji had attempted to give the fans what they want with Mighty No. 9, but criticism was not kind to it. Oddly, though, some of those criticisms came at the expense of the visuals, which look exactly the same as the beta and older trailers that people praise the fuck out of, so aside from the glitches and such, maybe they're just salty about how the game went into delays so many times? I don't know, I haven't played it. I plan to, though. Then Capcom released Mega Man Legacy Collection, and from what I hear, it's just the 6 games in a collection, nothing special added into the games. Heard it was just like they took the ROMs and bunched them together and slapped the price tag on them. I also hear the Steam version had game-breaking glitches. So we may have to keep relying on Keiji for a Mega Man game proper. Maybe this time he won't hire anyone that never truly played a Mega Man game and will know what they're doing, especially with marketing. Number 6. I admittedly don't know too much about Alone in the Dark, so bear with me on this. It was essentially a survival horror type game about a detective investigating some supernatural happenings, usually finding shit like undead things and, haunted shit. It is a series that a few people enjoyed, and I believe Pro Jared was one of them. Don't quote me on it, though. And then Alone in the Dark 2008 happened. People hated it, and get this. Atari actually threatened lawsuits towards new review sites by, quote, claiming the reviews could not have been based on the final version since it was not available by the time they were published, end quote, stating that they did not hand out proper review copies and claiming they illegally downloaded digital versions of the game. Now that is on a level similar to the devs that made the Slaughtering Grounds, if I've ever seen one. Oh, and then Illumination happened and people fucking hated it, with many people calling it the worst game of 2015. I'm not even sure how the series can bounce back after all that. Number 5. Okay, so it's gonna sting quite a bit mentioning this next one. Well, Sonic the Hedgehog. Where do I even begin with him? First off, this is Sega's mascot, and has been for decades. He had amazing games on the Sega Genesis, and okay games on the Game Gear. Except for Sonic Labyrinth, because fuck that shit. Who the fuck even designs a game where the one thing that makes Sonic Sonic is taken away? Yeah, you can spin dash, but it's not easy to control where you're going with that, at least. Then transition to 3D happened, albeit a bit later than it should have been. Sonic Extreme was planned to be Sonic's first venture into 3D, but due to complications, it was cancelled, and was partially why the Saturn didn't do so hot. Then Adventure came out, and well, there were a few differences, such as green eyes, Amy got older, and Robotnik became Eggman, much to the dismay of American fans everywhere. Then Sega left the hardware market due to the Dreamcast not doing so well and the PS2 fucking destroying it. I may always have a grudge about that against Sony. And it was a pretty sad day. Eventually, Sonic 06 came out and... oh god. Why? Granted, Sonic did have good games like Colors and Generations. In fact, Generations was the shit, and I dare say it is the best Sonic game today. Classic fans can argue about CD all they want, but hey, it's my opinion, not yours, fuck you. And then Lost World happened and they changed everything from controls to level design and it was awful. Then Sonic Boom, a spin-off, was... Hooey! Granted, the TV show was awesome, especially with its comedic bits. I recommend it for you guys. If it's like online, like if it's on Netflix or something, go and watch it. It is very good, and even though Knuckles became a complete Nimrod, it's entertaining as fuck. The games? Rise of Lyric was full of glitches and probably one of the worst games ever made, whereas Shattered Crystal, it was actually enjoyable. I played it myself, made sure to get the physical copy in case something went wrong, and honestly, I had a lot of fun with it. It was very enjoyable, and, well, with Sonic Boom Fire and Ice being the first Sonic game to ever be delayed, you can tell they want this to be better. In addition, news came out that the 25th anniversary game will actually be released in 2017, so as to not potentially recreate the horrors that was the 15th anniversary. I grew up with Sonic, so I especially want it to succeed. Well, here's hoping. Number 4. I did not grow up with Banjo Kazooie, admittedly. In fact, once I finally did get around to playing it on the Xbox 360, a lot of the enemy designs fucking scared me. Okay, maybe when I was younger and watching the game from afar, the enemies scared me, but then came when I did play it, and I didn't play through Clanker's Cavern, because Clanker fucking scared me, and I stopped for 3 weeks. I eventually did learn that Clanker was really scary in visuals, from a top 10 list on YouTube. Anyway, Banjo Kazooie was a popular game from Rare, a company that pretty much shit gold every time a game of theirs came out. Banjo Kazooie was a collectathon platformer, and a good one at that. They had a sequel in Banjo Tooie. Clever! And all signs are pointing to a third game called Banjo 3E. Because they also hinted at it at the end of the game. But then Rare was bought by Microsoft and we got something else instead. No, not that one. That one was actually good. What we got was Nuts and Bolts.
And holy shit! We'll always love you! I can't believe you did this to me, goddammit!
This was the first Banjo game in years, and they gave us this! Fuck the reviews that gave it positive ratings, the controls for driving weren't even good. Hell, I also remember getting an achievement for the game called Pointless Collector. Pointless Collector is the name of an achievement on this game that was originally about collecting. Oh man, it was almost like Microsoft forced Rare to shit on everything we ever loved about this game. Like, oh, you want a platform with collecting capabilities? Well, fuck you, you get some goddamn Lego car stuff instead. Thanks for playing for this, you twats! Paying, I meant. I'm especially not fond of what they did to Mumbo. The moment I saw him wearing mechanic clothes, getting ready to work on your car, my heart just broke. It looked so poor and I felt so sad. Mumbo, what the hell did they do to you, man? I'm actually gonna cry. Speaking of Rare. Number 3. Oh, Conker. You... Conker technically started out in a game called Conker's Pocket Tales for Game Boy Color, and it was nothing like the game we all know him best for, that being Conker's Bad Fur Day. Played it via emulation, and wow. It just... wow! It's pretty damn good. Though some bit of the platforming were bullshit, the story and raunchy humor was enough to keep me to enjoy it at least. Of course, this could not stay. As mentioned before, Rare was bought by Microsoft, and they eventually remade Conker, but they took away all the things that made it great, and it felt like a shell of its former self. Soon enough, Project Spark happened, and we got some episodic DLC for Conker, as if to say they were going to do things right. Oh wait, the rest of it got cancelled, and now there's a VR prequel where Conker looks like he did meth and drugs as a kid. Number 2. Konami, as in the company. Oh, this is gonna be good. Simply put, this kind of started with PT, a playable teaser for Silent Hills that showed the game had a lot of promise. Couple it in with Guillermo del Toro, couple it in with Del Toro, and Walking Dead star Norman Reedus, and you got what was possibly going to be the greatest horror game of all time. I'm not good with horror games. I puss out easily, a la Danny Sexbang and Ninja Sex Party and Game Grumps. But I could tell this was probably going to be the greatest horror game of all time. And then Konami started being Konami. PT was pulled from the PS Store as Konami and Hideo freaking Kojima had a falling out, leading to some stuff being cut out of Metal Gear Solid 5 to Phantom Pain. People still didn't enjoy it though, and I'm conflicted as to whether or not I should buy it on PS4 because, well, Konami. Soon enough, after Kojima left, reports came out that Konami treated its employees like literal slave workers, and even barred Kojima from an award show and refused to let him accept any for the games he made. Now Konami is apparently exiting the gaming market amid all this backlash, and it's turning Metal Gear Solid into a fucking pachinko machine. So many game series made by them have fallen flat as a result of all this. Though you're probably asking yourself, if not Konami, then what series is number 1 on this list? And the number 1 gaming franchise that has fallen flat is... Are you sitting for this? I mean, it'd be weird if you're standing, but I'm pretty sure you should be sitting for this. Maybe you won't be surprised about this, but whatever. Call of fucking Duty. This is going to be long. Let's start with where problems started. The fans. The majority of the fans are fucking toxic. Of course, it could be the vocal minority, but I don't know. And yet aren't even over the age of 13, meaning irresponsible parents went and bought underage kids an M-rated game. Not only that, but the game, it's not even that good. I played it, and ugh. And fans who knew what sex is supposed to be claimed that Modern Warfare 2 was the last good COD game. Soon enough, fans clamored for something like a Modern Warfare remake or remaster to go back to its roots in that area. Then they got Advanced Warfare, which was the same game with jetpacks. Then the trailer for Infinite Warfare came out, and the trailer got over 2 million dislikes. You're probably thinking that, oh, haters just bombarded the trailer. No. They couldn't have, because that is more dislikes than any of the other COD trailers have gotten. So, clearly, a lot of those dislikes had to be from fans who were not happy with the direction COD is going. Recently, the CEO of Activision as well pointed to past sales figures of COD as a means of saying they'll still buy the game, meaning they already think their fans are mindless sheep. Oh, but they were at least confident about the sales. Yeah. Because they chose to make a bundle of the game with a Modern Warfare remaster. Oh, well, we'll just buy the remaster instead. Nope! They knew their game would not sell that well, as they are bundling it with the remaster, and getting the bundle is the only way to get said remaster. Oh, well, if we get the remaster bundle, they'll... Look, I'm gonna stop you right there and tell you this. Even if you buy the bundle, they will count that sale towards Infinite Warfare. They could care less if you play Modern Warfare Remaster more than Infinite Warfare, because the purchase towards that bundle will give them an excuse to say that Infinite Warfare did well in sales and they will continue to go in the direction they're heading. They insulted the intelligence of fans and taunted them by bundling the one thing fans want with something that fans don't even desire, and will use it to their advantage to say it was a success and keep shitting on the fans. This is one of the most insulting things I have ever seen a company do to its consumers, and I watch WWE. What? You don't think they actually treat us like good people? Well, they don't really, not much. Unless you... Hell, they did have plans to go a different route and set it in ancient Rome, but then canceled it, likely because they could not find a way to incorporate guns into the game, because ancient Rome. They could have worked around it, but no. Now, here's where I'm going to get serious. If you, a fan of Call of Duty, are not happy with the direction Call of Duty is going, do not buy the game. You have a say in this, and it should be a big say. I don't care if you want to play the Modern Warfare Remaster, because that is how they're going to con you. That is how they're going to get you. If you want to play classic COD and play what was their roots and such, play the originals on your old systems. Pop the original Modern Warfare into your PS3 or 360 or whatever you have it on, and do that. Show that you have a voice and refuse to stand for the way they will treat you any longer. Do not invest in Call of Duty if you are not happy with it. I can't believe I have to explain this. I tend to do the same towards the IWC sometimes. Please, from one gamer to a legion, do not buy Call of Duty, no matter what, if you want them to listen. Though, if you want a newer experience, though, then... Can't believe I'm suggesting this. Go play EA's upcoming game, Battlefield 1. Here's the story behind that. EA put out Battlefield Hardline, and there were criticisms that the game was going down the route of COD, and in a bad way. Amazingly, the most hated video game publisher today actually listened to the fans and are giving the fans what they want. A classic FPS taking place in a World War era. When fucking EA is the company that is giving fans what they want, you know something's wrong here. So I repeat, do not buy Call of Duty. Not even for the Modern Warfare Remaster. You have a voice. Use it. And there you have it. My top 10 gaming franchises that fell flat. But let me quick go over a few honorable mentions that I chose not to include in this list for a few reasons. First off, Paper Mario. I originally thought of including it, but to be honest, I'm hopeful that Color Splash will not be as bad as Sticker Star. Granted, it has a similar gameplay mechanics and all that, but honestly, I'm just hopeful that it's going to be good. And maybe we're just worrying over nothing. I mean, people have complained that Paper Bowser would probably be the final boss in it, but, well, we had that in the original Paper Mario, so I don't understand why people are upset like that. Next would be Metroid. This one's a controversial one. I did a rant last year, I believe around this time, maybe about a year and a month ago, basically criticizing everyone shitting on the game solely for the trailer. They're upset because it's not a major Metroid game and it's mostly like a spin-off in the Prime series of it, as well as not featuring Samus as the main character and playing as the Federation, which basically people have seen as a negative thing because of Other M and how they portrayed the Federation, as well as how Samus is apparently a whiny baby because of her monologuing. To which I rebuttal, Federation first looked like they were a very bad people, like in a negative light, in Metroid Fusion. Same with the monologuing. Like, seriously. How can people forget this and call Metroid Fusion the greatest GBA game of all time, yet call Metroid Other M a mistake? It's dumb. Anyway, WWE games. This one I wanted to personally put on because, well, how should I put it? I kind of miss the games of old with the WWE, with some of the stuff they used to have when THQ published them. And now I feel like with 2K owning the WWE games license, it feels like they're just going to make it into another 2K sports game. They already got My Career and Virtual Currency and stuff. So, I mean, they're doing good with it at the very least. They definitely improved from 2K15. But honestly, I kind of wish that they would, instead of having a My Career, they'd have a continuous Road to WrestleMania mode. Kind of similar to the WWE 12 one. Although the thing I don't get is that for the same reason that WWE 13's Attitude Era mode was praised for, with the objectives that you were able to complete to make it feel like it was you were actually playing a piece of history. They're the same reasons that people criticize the Road to WrestleMania mode in WWE 12. Apparently, just because it didn't happen means that it sucked. Anyway. Rayman, but like I said earlier, Rayman got a resurgence in the series, so nothing wrong with that. Kirby is another choice, considering Planet Robobot, but apparently when a game ends up departing from the original formula, people usually criticize it and dismiss it. But when it's Kirby manning a giant robot, apparently that's perfectly fine. And don't say if Paper Mario or Metroid had giant robots, it would be like awesome as well, because you cry about it with Paper Mario, and Metro Prime Federation Force, they're manning giant robots. They're chibi sized to fit the game, and they're manning giant robots. Fucking idiots. But the last one I plan on putting on here was also one that I probably, I don't know, or at least aside from Metal Gear, but then again Konami. This one also relating to Konami. Castlevania. Personally, I had enjoyment with Lords of Shadow Mirror of Fate when I got it on the 3DS. I planned to buy the HD version on my laptop, but unfortunately it only can run on low settings, according to what I looked up, so I can't exactly do that. But I did play the demo for Lords of Shadow 2. It felt pretty enjoyable. Aside from the fact that you have to keep drinking blood to stay alive, but small thing, I'm sure. And, yeah, those are all the honorable mentions I can think of. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. You guys are very awesome. I'm hoping that the fucking new weekly schedule is going to work out, but something tells me that the review may take a bit long because I'm trying to make sure that I record all gameplay that I can. Unless I can actually find gameplay of the entire game online, I'm not sure if I want to go that route, because I want to try and record it all myself, so it might take a while. So next week might not be a review, but it could be just some gameplay video of sorts. I don't know, like I originally said that I planned in the update video. If you like this video though, please click the like button and show your support. And if you really enjoyed it, you can subscribe for more. If you click the video on the left, you will end up finding a video to my review on Swamp Thing for the NES. It's probably the last one I'll be doing without a script for a while, so if you enjoyed that format, well, yeah. And if you click the video on the right, you'll see my Quick Bits video, my recent one on Dust in Elysian Tale, probably one of the greatest games I've ever played. And again, subscribe for more, and you can check the description for all my social medias. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Man, I presume this game would be like Tamagotchi Life on mobile, but it feels even blander. Kinda makes me sad, to be honest.